was a bird.
Right, and that birds are classified as dinosaurs.
Where are you getting that from?
That's the classification.
You've jumped from a bird to a dinosaur.
Birds are a subset of dinosaurs.
Evolutionary.
A mallard is a subset of ducks. Ducks are a subset of birds.
You've got no evidence for this.
Yes, I do. It's phylogenetic classification. Go look it up. Yes, I do. I've got a video.
Give me your evidence.
I've got a video library full of evidence for that. I specialize in phylogenetics. Look it up.
Give me some evidence.
I'm giving it to you. I'm telling you where to look. And you're saying, I don't see any evidence. I don't see any evidence.
Where did you tell me to look?
I told you, I have a video library full of this on YouTube. Look it up. Look up the phylogenetic challenge. The phylogeny challenge actually is the title. Answer that. You can't, because contrary to what you said, no one has ever.
No scientists which disagree with you.
There are scientists who have said, there are scientists. Let me finish the statement. There are scientists who have said that even if all of the evidence proves that there is evolution, I'm still going to believe in creation because that's what the Bible says. Yes, there are scientists who are wholly dishonest, but there are no scientists who have ever identified kinds. It's never been defined.
There's no scientists that what?
There are no scientists ever who have defined kinds. I just want to be sure that's clear. Now, get back to me.
You were talking about this other thing that you were telling me about. You said you had videos of it. You told me to go look it up. What was that?
Look up the phylogeny challenge.
And you said there was no one that can answer that. Is that right?
Right.
So there's no one that can answer the phylogeny challenge.
Right.
And what do you want to give your name for the camera?
What?
You want to give your name for the camera? Or you're a scientist?
AronRa. Look it up.
Are you a scientist? Are you?
AronRa. Yeah, that should be easy enough. Nobody has ever defined kinds. I know you say that they have. They haven't. Speciation is macro evolution, not micro. It's not variation.
We can see variation. We can see that. And
what causes variation? What causes these variations?
Well, there's a difference between variation and evolution. You jump from minor variations to a
how do we get?
We've all got a common ancestor with a banana.
Yes. What causes the variation?
That was right now. That was right.
Nature. But it's always,
what specific mechanism?
For example, you had the finches. The finches needed to have a certain size beak on a particular island to reach food. And so what happened is that the ones that didn't have that size beak died off. And the ones that did have that size beak continued to breed. So that's a variation.
How does some of them have a bigger beak than some others? How does that happen?
Genetics. Why do you have a bigger beak to the person next to you?
How does the genetics vary?
Sorry?
How does the genetics vary? Some beaks are longer than some other beaks. How does the genetic variance occur?
The information within the...
How does the information vary?
Duplication.
Duplication is a form of mutation. Duplication is a form of mutation.
For instance, my brother will be of a different build and a different...
is one of 8 different known methods of mutation. Right? So you understand that mutations vary.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. We're talking about you can't say that the beaks change because of mutation.
Yeah, I can. No, that's the only mechanism that does it. Okay, what other mechanism?
That's like saying my brother is larger than me because he mutated.
Then don't start making it.
It's silly.
Tell me what the real mechanism is.
Well, I think procreation. Genetics, variation.
How does the variation occur?
Through procreation.
Procreation can't.
Different information. Your DNA and your genetics are not the same as if you had a brother, for example. There would be variations. And it's not a result of
my brother and I would be identical were it not for mutation.
Well, that's your assumption.
It's not an assumption. It's been established by the National Center for Scientific Information
on the island.
Every human being has an average of 128 mutations per zygote. That's where the variation between you and your brother is. That's the variation between some birds having longer beaks than some birds having shorter beaks. Now,
that's an assumption.
It's not an assumption, it's demonstrated. It's testable. I know you don't believe it because you can't. You've got a closed mindset. You can't understand it.
That's right. You don't need to get upset. I'm
trying to reason with you. There's more than you understand here, and you're closing your mind to it. Yes, you are closing your mind.
You ever given me any reason to believe in evolution?
Yes, I have. You just don't know it yet. I have given it to you. When you go home and look it up, and take some time.
You haven't given me any
I have, and you'll see these videos when you realize that's where he did it.
I'll tell you, just do us all a favor, take a few basic bio 101 courses, turn the other cheek, and do that before you make a bigger ass out of yourself. Come here, show me.
No, seriously, there is so much more that you don't understand about this. Basic
The
biology.
thing is that there's lots of scientists that disagree with you.
No, there
That's
aren't.
your problem.
No, there are not.
Dr. Legner is the chairman of
Yes, there is a handful of creationists who were already creationists before they got their education, and yes, and like Kurt Wise, they have announced that they are not going to let go of their preconditioned beliefs, regardless of the evidence. Answers in Genesis, the Institute for Creation Research, and every other creationist organization that ever existed announces proudly their statement of faith, wherein they proclaim in advance that they will automatically and thoughtlessly reject any and all evidence that ever stands against them. They do. I have the list. I can show you the links. What do you want me to do? I can't produce a link in my distinction.
I think what you're getting confused is that
I'm not getting confused.
interpretation of the data.
It's not an interpretation.
Not evidence itself.
It's not interpretation. Answers in Genesis really does announce that they will reject the evidence.
I've never read that on any of their websites.
I know. I can show you where it is.
Okay, show me.
Okay, I've documented it. I'd be happy to. Give me your email address. I'll give it to you. Well, next one. You look up me, because I'm easier to find. Okay? Give me your email address. Tell me that you are who you are, right? I will prove evolution to you. I will prove it so conclusively. Wait. I will get it on camera. Okay. You contact me, and I will prove evolution to your satisfaction.
On camera?
I can't do it on camera. It's going to have to be. It's an interactive step. I have to teach you a number of things, so it's going to be a time-consuming process. You have to understand some basics before you can get to the conclusion. But I will prove evolution to your satisfaction. You will understand and admit that evolution is the truest, best explanation there is for the origin of the species, and that everything your creationist mentors have told you so far about evolution and the Bible were lies. I will prove this to you, and that the people who taught it to you likely knew it was not true when they told it to you.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. Now, would you be willing to debate a creation scientist, someone who's a scientist that believes in creation?
He hasn't been breakfast, bro.
So he'd be willing to debate that? You'd be willing to debate that?
I would absolutely be willing to eat another creationist scientist. Yes, I would.
And how, are you like? You said it was easy to
I'm
find.
nobody. I could have beaten every creationist scientist that ever existed before I hit puberty.
Okay, so we'll invite you to a university. What was your name again?
AronRa.
AronRa. We'll invite you to a university to debate the subject, and
May I suggest first? Yes. I would go. I was going to give him a warning, but he doesn't want one, so never mind. Go ahead with your invitation, but allow me the secondary chance. Before the debate, you will engage me. Okay? I will ask you a handful of questions, and every round you answer. You can't avoid the questions. You can't rephrase the question. We will clarify. If I have to repeat the question, then it continues to the same round. But I will ask you a handful of questions, maybe a couple of dozen rounds, right? A dozen or so questions each time. You answer every one. You will come to realize evolution is true. It has been demonstrated. We do have transitional species, hundreds of them. Macroevolution has been directly observed and documented both in the lab and in naturally controlled conditions in the field. We have the genetic evidence, we have the fossil evidence, we have all the evidence you will ever want. And we can show that you don't have evidence for anything, but we can show that the people who have taught you lied to you. And
so you're willing to debate a creation scientist?
And I'm willing to prove to you first. I will debate the guy you set me up with.
The thing is, though, is that to teach me evolution could take a long time.
Yes, it can, especially starting from where you are. But I don't.
I'm actually very busy myself, as well. So for me to sit down and learn creation before I really want to debate, I'm happy to sit down.
I'm not asking for a debate.
Well, that's what I'm asking you for.
You have me debate someone else.
Creation science.
You have someone. There's no such thing. But you have me debate.
Scientists that don't believe in creation.
They're not doing science if they have a bias.
Are they scientists?
They're not doing
Are they
science.
scientists though?
There are scientists
That don't
who
believe in evolution.
compartmentalize, and so they don't practice science where evolution is
Are you
involved.
willing to debate a scientist that believes
How
in
many
creation?
times do I need to say? How many times do I need to say yes? Now, are you willing to accept my challenge beforehand?
Well, the thing,
I will prove evolution before the debate.
It could take a long time. That's
No,
what
it
I'm
won't.
saying.
No, it won't.
Okay, well, how long?
3 months.
You're going to take 3 months to. You want me to come in how often? 3 months?
Come in. Email. Your convenience.
Email. Okay.
Right. Right. We'll do a couple dozen rounds of email conversations. I'll ask you a handful of questions. You answer them. When we're done, then you have me debate your creation of science. You won't want me to anymore, but we'll do that.
Sounds good.
You're taking your first step into a larger world.